Let's get salty!
Hey everyone, Zeddy here again today with a brand new video. And today I wanted to talk about a topic that's been kind of bothering me since the week or so, release of Mercenaries. And you can tell by the pretty aggressive title, is Blizzard's greed or basically kind of aggressive monetization of Mercenaries is going to hurt or kill the mode going forward. And I want to go over some examples that just come off as not great, but how there's some interesting aspects of the game being quite free to play friendly at the same time, where it's really baffling. So before I get into like what has been bothering me or the practices I've been seeing that aren't, they just seem not great, slightly underhanded, I want to talk about the positives of the mode, because I am enjoying Mercenaries. I'm enjoying the gameplay to an extent. It's very much a grind. The game is literally built around grinding, about building your mercenaries up, getting everything leveled up, maxing your abilities out, and then if you want, taking it to PvP. Personally, I don't even care about PvP. I like doing the single player stuff and leveling up, and the infrastructure they have set up in the game is actually quite free to play friendly. You can literally grind everything outside of portraits in the game. Everything is acquirable within game. Of course, if you have the time. There is a lot of time sink, but the thing is, paying to skip ahead will only get you ahead in terms of like abilities and stuff, but not tasks. But you can theoretically unlock every mercenary, upgrade every single ability. The thing is, you have to unlock those abilities through leveling, which takes time. You cannot power level and all of that. But at the same time, it doesn't take that much. And getting to Task 7, which gives you a lot of the time Task 7 equipment, is very important. And again, you can't pay to skip through that. But everything else, you can basically pay your way through. But yeah, at its core, I actually feel it's free to play friendly in that you can get everything as long as you have the time. And well, that can be a big deal. We'll talk a little bit about that. And the main time sink, if you're free to play, is acquiring legendary mercenaries. They require 500 coins each, and farming a specific legendary coin is very time consuming because there's not a great way of doing it. I think for each legendary mercenary, there's like two different bounties you can farm. One's legendary, one's not legendary, that's coming later. One's heroic, one's normal, and it takes quite a bit of time. You can manipulate it a little bit by like having a small party and going through like some quicker bounties and farming coins that way. But overall, it really incentivizes you to spend a little to get yourself some legendary mercenaries to get ahead in that way. But at the same time, it's within reason for a gacha game. This is within reason, in my opinion, and isn't really one of the predatory things. And PvP itself isn't that predatory in its it's incentive for you to spend money. For the most part, you're going to be paired up with either bots or players with similar style of like leveled up things as you. It's only becomes an advantage to really pay to win in PvP at like the highest of ranks, where it just starts pairing you off basically on your MMR, and being maxed out will be a big advantage. And the best way to max out, or the quickest way, is to pay for additional coins to max out your ability. So in essence, PvP is only really monetarily pay to win at the highest levels from what I've seen. I mean, I'm like 6,500 MMR and I'm just farming bots. You could do that without doing the whole the way I've done it, I do like 3 level 30s, like really strong level 30s, and then just 3 really low level guys. And then I'm always paired up against the bot. It's an easy win, like 9 times out of 10. And then you just get quick XP. But again, at the highest levels, it's a bit, it's a little bit pay to win for sure. But the problems I am seeing in terms of where it gets underhanded monetarily and where the greed comes in is any time they're asking for money. It feels like every time Blizzard tries to squeeze money out of you, it's like in just the most underhanded way possible. It all started literally day one on the release, where they terribly explained the game, and then they had three premium price pre-orders, or like 2 expensive ones, one regular one. It started day one, and the misconception of the game have been spread ever since then. People are convinced it's a bad game, that it's purely about greed. The thing is, the game itself is actually pretty good. It's fun. If you're into grindy RPGs, if you're not, this isn't for you. But however, it's not a terrible game, but the initial presentation was so bad that everyone still assumes it is. The hate you still see on this game is largely because of this. And it was because they're like, we want to make our money. Battlegrounds didn't make us money. We didn't monetize it properly. Duels, we didn't monetize it properly. We're going to get it right this time. And that has been shoved down our throat since day one, and it continues to be that way. Day one, when the game released, there was 2 more bundles in the shop immediately, despite the game not even working properly. Like, people not being able to log in, all this stuff, they're asking for more money. But I will say, like, the day one stuff, there was like a welcome bundle and a day one bundle. They were, like, especially the welcome bundle, very well priced, very fair. But the other one, it's fine. But again, it's like, my God, we're day one into this mode, and we have 5 different bundles you can buy already. And then within the next week, we had more stuff with the Hallow's End stuff introduced, and this is where it really got on my nerves. So first, they introduced coins for money. You look at that, you think it's not great. In terms of value, in terms of money, the coins are actually a reasonable deal. However, they're not duplicate protected or anything like that. If you already, let's say, maxed out a mercenary, the coins you get, they're useless. You can't do anything until a later date. The devs, I believe, confirmed on a Reddit thread that, if you have excess coins, they will be useful at a later date. But I mean, right now that sucks. And if you're trying to unlock stuff that's bad, like, I do not understand why the coins, like, you should not be able to get coins from mercenaries you maxed out. I feel like that's just, like, that's not even a quality of life thing. That's just a thing they've shown in other Hearthstone modes with adding duplicate protection for every rarity, that this should be a thing until you can use those coins. Like, I hate being like, take their word for it that they'll be useful later. Like, I'm sure they will be, but in the meantime, it feels super bad to grind for coins or to spend your hard-earned money on coins that you can't do anything with. They're just useless. So that upset me a little bit, but overall, the value in the coins in terms of economics is perfectly reasonable. The part that really irked me was the legendary thing, which, by the way, I believe they took off the shop pretty quickly after people started complaining. Myself, I had a Twitter thread about it. There's $5 you could get 1 legendary mercenary, which in terms of money, in terms of monetary value, that's actually kind of fine. That's reasonable. You get 1 guaranteed legendary mercenary that you didn't have. This is where it really grinds my gears, is if you have every legendary mercenary. By the way, there was a big misconception. I posted a screenshot of this. You get 100 coins if you already have every legendary. I didn't buy this. I saw an Out of Cards article. I'll link it below. Out of Cards has been doing great work, by the way. They're like the best honest source out there for Hearthstone news. They'll talk about leaks. They'll talk about everything, whether something's worth your money, not worth your money. I get a lot of my information there. Highly recommend it. I've been really happy with that source. Very honest source. And that's probably why Blizzard doesn't want to work with them at all. Like me. Anyways, yeah, so I read that and I tweeted it out that you only get 100 coins if you already have every mercenary. 500 coins it costs to make a legendary mercenary. This is worse than the dust ratio in Hearthstone of 1 to 4. Like, you have a 1600 dust legendary, you disenchant it for 400. This is worse than that, and that's already terrible. And everything I'm reading from people like, well, they state in their notes that, legendary mercenary only 100. Why is that okay? That should not be okay. You should get more than 100 coins for 5. Like, that, it's just a horrible ratio. It feels bad, and you're spending $5 for 100 coins. That's just terrible economics. It's actually more worth it for you to spend $3 or 300 gold on 3 packs according to the math. Like, it doesn't even make sense. And it, like, you're like punishing people for having all the legendaries. So at least it should be like 125, at least make it the same ratio as standard, which is terrible. But in essence, it probably should be better than that. So that irks me. And there's also the other thing of just regular packs don't have a pity timer. This is not stated anywhere, but regular mercenary packs do not have a pity timer. You could go over 40 packs without opening a legendary. And this is not stated. If you look on Blizzard's site where they have the drop rates, I'll try and show screenshots of it for both constructed and mercenary packs. It's literally worded the same way. You're expected an average legendary, I think, every 20 packs. However, neither explicitly state that there's a pity timer. Not even constructed. It just happens to be that there's a pity timer for constructed, but there isn't for mercenaries. Why? Like, again, these packs are so hard to acquire. It just comes off as underhanded. And then there's this rumor that I haven't seen confirmed, but I've heard a lot of people saying they've experienced it since the latest hotfix, that tasks are harder to find. The mystery stranger has apparently showed up less in the portal, which again, I talked about. You can't even paywall or pay your way to get through tasks, but it will slow down coin progression at the higher tasks. So is this an intentional move? Is this to, again, be like gouge people or like frustrate people into spending money? Again, this one's not confirmed. But I'll just note that Tian Ding has since commented as of recording this video. He's a lead like data scientist at Blizzard, that they have not changed the occurrence on the mystery stranger. So it just shows like how people are not in a trusting spot with everything going on. I feel like the mode itself is fun. It can do some cool stuff. You can grind away, but every time they start asking for money or doing these things, it's turning me off more and more from the mode, which isn't like the greatest mode ever. Don't get me wrong. So what I'm basically, my conclusion is from this: don't spend a dime on this mode. Do not spend a dime on this mode. I think this mode is best enjoyed if you just play for the free-to-play experience. Just grind. If you like the grind, which that's what the mode is anyways, just grind it out. Grind out what legendaries you're going for. Don't give them a dime right now. I wouldn't recommend spending any money. I haven't bought any of the new stuff. I will not buy any of the new stuff, but that's, again, easier for me to say, having bought all the pre-orders and basically having everything. I understand that you might not be in that position, but as it stands, I just can't recommend this on good faith to spend any money on. The way they have been monetizing it just really comes off the wrong way to me, but they set up a free-to-play structure that's doable. So take advantage of that, you know? There's a greedy aspect and there's a non-greedy aspect, and they're kind of like butting heads with each other. It's really interesting. And I say avoid the greedy side and go with the free-to-play side. Just don't spend money. And if you're enjoying the mode, enjoy it in that way. And I think you'll feel a lot less worse than basically feeling potentially ripped off at the end of the day with the non-duplicate stuff, with the non-pity timer, with the terrible coin ratios and all of that. If you just grind your way, I think it could be a lot more enjoyable. So I'm not saying don't play mercenaries or anything like that. Just try not to spend any money on it, because overall it just feels like whoever's in charge of the money aspect of it seems to be kind of out of touch with the spirit of a lot of the free-to-play aspect of the game. So if you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. Have a great day and stay salty, my friends.